Now, with the dueling demands on your income, they're like a two-headed money monster. And here's how you can crush your financial priorities instead.
Welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast, a podcast for every mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, and wife, and the men who are smart enough to tune in. The Wealth Nation podcast brings you all you need to know about investments, business, property investments, personal finance, and all-around financial wellness. Here is your host, Yolanda Rose.
Thanks for joining me today on this episode of the Wealth Nation podcast. I'm Yolanda Rose, financial advisor and wealth coach, and every week I bring you easy, actionable tips, content, and strategies that will help you build generational wealth and how to manage your money well. So today on the show, I'm giving you my top 5 money trade-offs and how you can tame them. The Wealth Nation podcast is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a seller and producer of spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming on the internet. Audible sells digital audiobooks, radio and TV programs, and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. For a 30-day free trial of Audible, go to www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/audible. I have all the money I need, said no one ever. Competing financial claims are a fact of life, right up there with death and taxes, and often there's no right answer as to the best place to put our precious limited funds. So if you're waffling on where your money should go, here are my 5 priorities, trade-offs for some inspiration. Trade-off number 1, should you pay your personal loans or build an emergency fund? Now, South Africans as a nation, we are so indebted. To land a top-paying job, you need an educational qualification. You take loans, student loans and personal loans to pay that off. And then you spend decades trying to pay for it. So with cash, that won't be available for saving or investing. So in your 20s and in your 30s, your biggest asset is your ability to earn money. So paying off your loans are vital. And if you're too aggressive and don't have any cash left at the end of the month, you risk adding on fresh debt by the means of the high interest credit cards. So you got to find a balance of paying off those loans and building an emergency fund. If you put monthly minimum payments into your loans, don't just stop there. You need to start building that emergency fund. Start small. Save maybe 500, 800 Rand a month and set a goal for 3 installments like that. Ideally, maybe a year of just saving. That way, if you lose your job, which is it's likely to happen in South Africa with the way things are, or if you need pay some access on your insurance or some other medical emergency comes up, you can ride it out without going into a debt by dipping into your emergency fund. So the best advice I can give you when it comes to paying off loans or building an emergency fund is to choose both. Pay down your loans, pay down minimums, and while you can pump as much as you can into emergency funds. It is easier said than done, but even small deposits into your savings account will add up over time.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Tuned In. Now back to the show.
Trade-up number 2 is 1, credit card debt versus saving for a house. Now, ironically, rising earnings can pave a slippery slope into debt. And social media doesn't help because you've got all your friends and families posting vacations at all of these luxurious hotspots, and everybody's doing it except you. As children, if we never learn how we can make meaningful choices between needs and wants, we can develop a distorted relationship with money. So if we are raised to believe that material goods increase happiness, we are more likely to buy stuff to fill an emotional hole, even if having everything you want when you want it is not actually a formula for happiness. Now listen to what I said. If we are raised to believe that material goods increase happiness, we're more likely to buy stuff to fill an emotional hole, even if having everything you want when you want it is not actually a formula for happiness. So my advice when it comes to paying off credit cards or saving for a home You got to master that plastic first and then start saving for a house deposit. The financial payoff of paying down your credit card, maybe at 20% interest, is far more rewarding than saving for a house right now. So master getting that credit card debt under control before you put down any money for a home. Trade-off number 3, retirement savings or saving for your kids' education. Now, this is a big struggle. I mean, do we sacrifice our retirement for our kids for a retirement? Now, we all heard that advice to prioritize retirement because you can't borrow for retirement, but you can borrow for your kids' education. With that being said, I have yet to meet a parent who is satisfied with the thought of putting their own financial future ahead of that of their children, particularly with tons of debt that many of our students are facing. So my best advice for you is to put your retirement first, but not exclusively. So while you grab every last rand trying to max out the tax advantages of a retirement annuity and tax-free savings, put a portion away into a fixed deposit for your child's education and start contributing small amounts each month. Tell your friends and family, aunts, uncles, and other people that buy your kids gifts or care about their well-being to maybe contribute when it comes to birthdays and Christmases. Rather put finance into that account and lock it up for your child when it comes to studies. I did speak about this a couple of episodes ago, and if you check the show notes down below, I'm going to put those links there on how you can start saving for your kids' education without really breaking that bank. So all of this money can help you kickstart a savings for your child. Over time, all of this will add up. And even if you might not be able to cover the full cost of your child's education, it would be a great start. These are my 3 trade-offs for you to consider, especially now when we are such a volatile place in the South African economy and the global economy at large. This is how you should be prioritizing your money, and I hope I was able to provide you with value today. So here are my top money trade-offs and how you can tame them, and listen to it if you have to again. So that's it for me on this week of the Wealth Nation podcast. I really hope that you take these trade-offs and you're able to judge it for yourself and apply it to your own situation. So if you need somebody to put it together on paper to do a financial analysis on your personal finances, give me a call, or better yet, drop me an email. It's yolanda@financiallyfabulousfemales.com. I'll be ever so glad to give you a hand. So reach out to me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. It's Financially Fabulous Females, and always be checking our website. I always update it regularly with the best advice, latest advice that's relevant to a South African market. It's www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com. So I'll chat to you next week, and stay cool till then.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.